Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. I know I'm running late today, so I won't be before you long. I know. I've been doing a whole lot of stuff today. A whole lot. But here I am. I made it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Mm-hmm. Look, give me, give me just a few seconds. And we are going to talk about how to get your confidence, give your confidence a great boost. Okay? And Michelle is with me. All right. Hoo-wee. Listen here. It has been a day. It has been a day. Happy Freedom Friday. Happy Freedom Friday to y'all. I am Karen Booth, the baggage handler. This is Tea and Truth Freedom Friday edition. And today we're talking about confidence. Whew. Thank y'all for being patient with me and making the adjustment to your time. Hold on. Stephen, don't forget to leave the key. Or it might be in my purse. But it is right. Okay. My husband says hi. And it's his fault. It is his fault. It's his fault that we're doing this at 5 and not 4:30. Some let me make one tag. I know. Just that day. You come tell him.
Hey, Tea and Truth Crew. Tomorrow, Omega Sci-Fi, the Omicron Lambda chapter is having their annual Charles Thompson picnic. You all are invited out. It's from 2 to 8. Come by. You don't have to stay. You can grab you a chicken leg or chicken wing and enjoy your day.
And what have I been doing all day?
Karen has been helping support.
Michelle talking about don't be blaming her brother. Oh, he is to blame. Now, be with me when I'm right. But yes, the Omega Lambda chapter of Omega Sci-Fi in Little Rock, Arkansas. Their white party is tonight. I don't know if tickets are still available, but there are tickets at the door available. They are at the Winsong. It's how much? It's a scholarship. It's a scholarship fundraiser at the Winsong Event Center, and tickets are $80 at the door. And it starts. You got look, y'all. Margarita start at 6. Dinner starts at 7. Dinner starts at 7 and goes to 8:30, and then we're gonna be on Crunk Juice after that. Live music, live. Yes, we're gonna be all white tonight, Michelle. All white. And so I have been running here, there, to and fro, here and yon. We're not doing all that. We are not doing all that. This is Tea and Truth with Karen Booth, Freedom Friday. Y'all tell me where you are and what's in your cup. Now, my cup today has water because since I've been running the streets, with my permanent roommate, I got water. And so today we are talking about giving your confidence a shot. Right? So I want to share with you all. Now look, now I got myself together. Here we are. He walked out the room, so I had to yell, Michelle. All right, there you go. Put your shirt and your schematics. Close the door, please. Okay, this is what I want y'all to believe. That I want y'all to know that I believe with all my heart. I believe that your confidence shoots up once you release forgiveness. Now, I did not say that people who are walking in unforgiveness are not confident. I did not say that forgiveness is the only way that your confidence grows. I'm saying what I do know happened for me and has happened for a couple of people that have taken have had coaching sessions with me is that their confidence grew once they were able to release and get out of self-protect mode, forgive the people, and go forward. Okay? One of the biggest things unforgiveness does is convince you that you have to protect yourself. You make yourself responsible for making sure nobody ever hurts you again. You keep your guard up. I know y'all have heard me say this before, but we don't despise repetitive teaching. It may hit you differently today. You keep your guard up. You keep your head on a swivel. You analyze everything people say. You question people's motives. You rehearse conversations in your mind. You're constantly trying to make sure that you're okay. And after a while, you don't really realize you're doing it. You just keep doing it. And that's how you live. Then one day, somebody comes on a live and says, you should try extending forgiveness. Why should you try to extend forgiveness? I'm glad you asked. You should try because despite what you think, forgiveness does not condone the behavior. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to reconcile the person. Forgiveness does not mean that you are weak. It doesn't erase, forgiveness does not mean that you have to throw your hurt feelings in the trash because something happened that hurt you. And that is why you won't release forgiveness. You don't have to continue to let unhealthy people remain in your life. They don't have to have access to you. Forgiveness means that you release the burden, that you release the need to make sure that they pay the debt to you. It means that you have allowed your feelings to stop being shook up by what they did to hurt you. It means that you stop feeling resentment. It means that you allow yourself to calm down, to stand down, soldier, to relax, and put the burden of avenging and revenge. You're welcome, Michelle. On the one who can handle it better. Because for the believer, God is going to take care of you. But you think he won't because the person hurt you. But you fail to acknowledge that the enemy is seeking who he can, how he can steal, kill, and destroy us. So those things are going to exist on in the earth realm. So some stuff just happened. Some stuff we like just happened. Life is like that. We are in the world, we are not of the world, right? So, as a believer, let's say you hear a lie, you read a book, the Lord pricks your heart, and you're like, well, maybe I should forgive them. And really, that's about all you need. The Lord just needs this much space. He's like, oh, she thinks so? Bam. Yes, here I come. And he might do some things to help you release your fear of forgiveness. He might do some things to help you learn to trust him. And then you start saying, I believe in a big God. I serve a big God. And if God is God is as big as I say he is, and he's as big as I think he is, then he's big enough to handle the person who did it to me, and he is big enough to help me deal with the injustice. Because I trust him, I don't have to spend the rest of my life avenging myself. And that changes everything because now you're trusting God to protect you. And so you can put that job down. Because once I stopped believing that it was my job to protect myself from everything, I became free to move. Now, it happened in stages, it happened in steps. It was a growth period because, I had been holding on to stuff so long, some stuff so long, that it just become my story. It had just become my identity. It had just become the thing that I said that was me. And that was not true. I became free to move because think how much energy I spent watching and trying to make sure that nobody hurt me and trying to figure out somebody's motives and trying to do this and trying to do that. And none of that had anything to do with what God had for me. Can I tell you from a personal place? It's exhausting to do all that. When all your energy is spent watching your own back. That's watching your own back. There's not much energy to look forward and to move. When you release that burden to God, you begin living differently. You step out and do things. You go live. You go live. And you go live every day. Man, I went live every day for a whole year about a topic that I didn't think anybody really wanted to hear about. But I also was able to teach some classes because there are people that need what I have to teach. You go live, you teach the class, you start the business, you apply for the job, you apply for the promotion, you enroll in school, you join whatever organization you want to join. You audition for the part, in the community at the community theater. You write the book, you submit the application. You stop sitting on the sidelines waiting until you think it is safe. Because here's the thing. If the enemy keeps you wrapped up in fear, so he can stop you from doing what you're doing, you're never going to think it's safe. It doesn't feel safe starting a business. It doesn't feel safe going when you first go live. It doesn't feel safe at all because how many people are going to hear me? And who gonna have something to say against what I say? Who's going to argue with me? Maybe somebody, maybe nobody. And arguing is not bad as long as it's not disrespectful because arguing is really just presenting an idea that's different from the other person. So so as I look back over my life, as my forgiveness grew, my confidence grew. Not because I suddenly believe somebody would nobody hurt me, because I've been hurt plenty of times since I released forgiveness. Plenty. But what happened was that I had studied the subject so much and I knew that I needed to forgive. And so I had to, pray through the situation, forgive the person, and I was able to move on with my life rather than stay wrapped up in what he did, she did, they did. I no longer believe that protecting myself was my responsibility because I know that in His own time and in His own way, I trust that God will handle the person, people, whoever who did me wrong. Just trust and believe. I ain't perfect, and so I probably hurt somebody's feelings somewhere along the way. And so He's had to chastise me about some things that I've said, some things that I've done, some ways that I have acted, some things that I did wrong. So I know that He chastises because I have been chastened. Now, while I was busy protecting myself, I was also limiting myself. Some opportunities happened that I didn't pursue. Some doors opened that I didn't walk through. Some dreams that were delayed by my own lack of action. Some things I didn't attempt, not because I lacked the ability, but because I was trying so hard not to get hurt again that I didn't do what I should have been doing. And I was calling it wisdom. Wisdom takes a lot of we give forms to wisdom that wisdom don't have. You know, it was fear wrapped up in a facade of wisdom. It was protection disguised. It was self protection, but I said I'm just being mature. But I have really built a life around avoiding pain instead of pursuing my purpose. So that's why I believe that your confidence shoots up when you forgive, because forgiveness removes a burden. When the burden is lifted, you begin moving. Think about it. How much easier is it to move when you're not mad? And if you're walking in unforgiveness, then you can see a person, you can see something, you can see anything that would remind you of what the person who hurt you did. And then you go down the rabbit hole of I'm mad again. How many people have done that? Put a three in the comments if you ever saw somebody and got mad all over again at what they did. I didn't say, I didn't say you don't have a feeling about it, because you see somebody that did all kind of wrong to you. You forgive them. The first time you see them, you might be like, mm. And then you say, "This is what you have to do." But I forgave them, so I'm not gonna let them mess up my mood and ruin my day. I'm not gonna let them mess up my mood and ruin my day. And so you go on about your day, and then the next time you see them, it may be a mm. And eventually you keep you keep you keep affirming that you have released forgiveness towards them. You keep affirming that you have released the need for you to extract the debt that they owe you out they tail. You release the need to do that and give it over to God, and then your mood and your countenance changes. You calm down, right? Forgiveness removes a burden. When that burden is lifted, you begin moving. Every step that you take should remind you that God really is faithful. Because what do you see now? You see opportunities to grow. You see opportunities to develop. You see opportunities to change. You see opportunities to enhance your life that maybe you would have missed if you were still over there in that corner, mad about what JoJo or Ray Ray or Susu did to you. And then one day you look up and you're like, I'm doing stuff that I ain't never thought I would do. And that is the truth. Not because you became a necessarily different person, but because you laid down the weight that kept the person that you are from showing up. So today, I want to leave you with one question. What have you been preventing yourself from doing because you've been so busy protecting yourself? Susu, JoJo, and Ray Ray, Michelle, all of them. hmm What have you been preventing yourself from doing because you've been so busy protecting yourself from a hurt that ain't even happened yet? And let me take your head off of that. From a hurt that hadn't even happened. But you holding on to a hurt that's over with. And when I say over with, the event is over with. Been over with. But it still hurts you like it happened yesterday. Is it starting a business? Is it teaching a class? Is it applying for a job? Is it going back to school? Is it joining another ministry? Because now a ministry that hurts you will put you in a space of, you know what? I'm not joining another ministry. But maybe you need to find another ministry to join. Is it writing a book? Michelle, is it launching the dream that God? Hey, Tia Kiona. How you doing, girl? Is it launching the dream that God placed in your heart? Whatever it is, I encourage you to release the burden. Trust the God that you say you believe in. Trust Him to handle what you cannot. Trust Him to heal what was broken. Then get up and go do the thing. Because let me tell you this. Now, let me tell you this. If somebody hurts you and you exact some revenge, think about the shows that are on TV. And think about how many times you see somebody exact some revenge against somebody else. And then think about how angry that character still was after they. Yes, Michelle! Then think about it. Did the character have really any peace? Because satisfaction that you exacted revenge is one thing, peace is another thing. You think about characters that just stay angry. Victor Newman is, and we love Victor Newman. Victor Newman is one of the most revenge getting characters I have ever watched TV, and he always seemed to be angry. He's always angry about something. It don't take much for him to get angry. But now he done whooped Jack 17 times. This is what I'm trying to say. Is think about characters that you have seen on the westerns, and they sit up and it's an angry person, and they got to control the town, and they got to do all this stuff, and no matter how much control they do on the town, they still mean and evil and angry. Why? Because somebody did something to their brother 50 some years ago, and so they was going to their revenge is till they in jail. Think about that what you see on TV. Are you really going to have peace? Are you really going to have peace after you exact revenge? Satisfaction? Perhaps. Peace? Perhaps not. Give you another one. Tyler Perry. The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I had to think which one it was. When Medea told that girl cut up that man's stuff in his closet and all that stuff, and she was like, "Well, it's not going to do any good." And Medea was like, "Well, where you feel better?" So they cut up all that stuff in the closet, and then she was still saying next time. So again, I want to encourage you to release the burden. Trust the God you say you believe in. Trust Him to handle what you cannot. Trust Him to heal what was broken. Trust Him to take care of them. Then get up and do the dang thing. So, again, here's what I believe. When you release forgiveness, you release the burden of being your own protector. When you release the burden, you become free to move. When you become free to move, your confidence shoots up because your confidence is no longer rooted in your ability to protect yourself. And if you go back to Tuesday, we talked about the Hatfields and the McCoys. We talked about confidence needs evidence in order to grow. Well, you can't produce evidence if you over here stuck in unforgiveness. So as you grow, as you release, and as you move, and you have evidence, and you celebrate your wins. You celebrate your wins, and your confidence grows. But if you're stuck in unforgiveness and you don't ever do anything because you're scared, then you don't have any wins to celebrate to grow your confidence. Hey, Kim, love you, girl. Remember, your insides always affect your outsides. This is Tea and Truth for today. I hope it helped you out. Now, just want you to know that I am available if you want to set up some time to help you, for me to help you process your forgiveness, your unforgiveness, or anything else. Coach Karen is available to help you. Y'all hit me in the inbox, hit me in the comments if you have something that you think you need to talk about that I can help you with. The baggage handler will help you handle your baggage. All right. So until next week, See you later. Be safe out there this weekend. Drink your water and release the burden. Your insides affect your outside. Have a good weekend. See y'all later.